This is 7 News, the voice of the coast.
Tonight, police search for answers after a horrific domestic violence attack. The region's residents reveal how they've been affected by crime.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, a grandfather killed in a hit and run while out on a walk in Sydney's west. And our new Governor-General, Samantha Mostyn, takes office today.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. The family of casino mum Sarah Miles is tonight trying to come to terms with her violent death. Her partner, Dwayne John Cretan, is now behind bars, accused of murdering Sarah. Let's go to Elise Holden now, who joins us live from the scene of the crime in Casino. And Elise, was Sarah's family in court today?
Yes, Nick, the family was seen sobbing in the gallery as 31-year-old Cretan's matter was mentioned. He's been refused bail and is due to appear via video link on August 28. In tears, leaving Lismore local court, the family of casino mother Sarah Miles distraught as her alleged killer Dwayne John Cretan's matter is heard.
Nothing you guys want to say?
No, sorry.
Sorry about that. Quite emotional.
This time, yeah.
Sarah Miles was allegedly attacked in her Johnston Street home around 1:30 on Saturday morning. When neighbours heard screams for help, they called 000, but it wasn't until an hour later police and paramedics arrived. Sarah had allegedly suffered head injuries and died at the scene.
These domestic violence murders are horrific, and I do know that the New South Wales Police Force and its counter agencies are doing their utmost to prevent these incidents, but you can only do so much.
A system error is believed to have caused the delayed response. Investigations into why it occurred are ongoing.
Clearly, something has gone wrong here, and we need to make sure that this investigation is thorough and we get to the bottom of it. And if there's a glitch in the system, we'll fix it.
There's been some apparent mix-up in relation to the coded priority of the incident. That will be investigated. But I can tell you now that the police there did their utmost fantastic work to provide first aid when they arrived at the scene.
Today, more flower tributes were laid for Sarah as forensics continue to examine the scene.
This is a very troublesome incident, and my heart goes out to the ones that have been affected by this terrible tragedy.
Damien Loon says more officers and resources are needed in the region to respond faster.
You have a small minimal force of police officers on duty on these 24-hour stations, and you have to take into account court. You have to take into annual leave, sickness leave, people who are on long-term sick as well. So, the cops out there are doing their damn best.
A third life allegedly lost to family and domestic violence in the Northern Rivers.
Okay, let's go back to Elise Holden now, who's at the scene. And Elise, forensic officers have spent the day collecting more evidence.
Nick, police are building their case against Dwayne John Cretan. They have until July 18 to gather as much information as possible before he appears in Lismore local court in August. New coercive control orders, which came into effect today, are also hope to help and prevent more family and domestic violence incidents in the region.
That's a godsend, because before that the prison sentence was very low. So now we're seeing an increase in a sentence for these horrific incidents in the family home that no one seems to know about, and people are ashamed to report.
Behind me, more tributes are being laid for Sarah Miles tonight. She's being remembered as a loving, talented and compassionate person.
Yeah, it is a very sad story indeed. Elise Holden, thank you. And of course, if you or anyone you know needs support, you can contact 1-800-RESPECT. That's 1-800-737-732. Horrific tales of crime and its impacts have emerged from submissions to the Regional Crime Inquiry. These stories will next be heard at a public hearing, with residents hoping it'll make their communities safer.
From home invasions to business break-ins, theft to car chases. It's no surprise that a regional crime inquiry is underway, with so many organisations calling for help.
When we were broken into, we were devastated.
This weekend, another business hit in Taree. Cleaver's Tyres back fence was smashed down 2 nights in a row, and unfortunately, it's not the first time they've struggled against youth crime.
This fence in this instance we can fix, but other times when they smash in your front doors and windows, you're out at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, there's security risks, they take things when they do that, and it has a significant impact on the running of an operation.
In my hands are the submissions of 188 victims, retelling their stories and demanding more action in regional communities. Each story painting a dire picture of the realities people have faced. Ballina Shire Council, Port Macquarie Hastings Council and Byron Youth Services have also contributed to the submissions, calling for early intervention, community-driven solutions and funding support.
Money, I guess, like from the government to be able to assist police in having more officers in the area.
Being a victim of crime is an experience that lives on well after the event.
And we've been mentally devastated what happened to our families, and we're still dealing with it.
Residents in the Manning hope through this inquiry the government listens, feeling like regional towns have been neglected, with no real accountability being taken until now.
And this guy blaming that guy saying nothing to do with me.
Hannah Hardup joins us live now. And Hannah, what happens now that those submissions have been made public?
Nick, the committee will host several public hearings across the state. The places such as Inverell have already put their hand up to host. The committee is currently reviewing the 180 submissions and mapping out the visitation program. They'll inquire into the drivers of youth crime, how to reduce the root causes of it, staffing levels, workforce issues, and services available for young people in regional areas. They're expected to report back in February next year.
Okay, thanks for the update, Hannah. That's Hannah Hardup reporting live from Taree. Well, the stakes have been raised for drivers who refuse to wear a seatbelt. New detection cameras are expected to quadruple the number of fines and hopefully save lives.
If you don't already, it's time to click-clack front and back. Mobile detection cameras broadening their scope to catch a new variety of lawbreakers from today.
The cameras will be enforcing wearing not only seatbelt use, but correct seatbelt use.
Police currently issue around 10,500 seatbelt violations a year. That number expected to explode with overhead surveillance. The camera's already scanning 135 million drivers a year.
We know that potentially it could be 4 times as high.
Coffs Coast drivers fairly supportive of the initiative despite a few reservations with the technology.
And I think a lot of people got a fine that wasn't warranted, but hopefully the technology has moved on, and provided they've got that right, people should be wearing a seatbelt.
If it's for safety, it's a good idea. Yeah, again, I think it'll prevent a lot of accidents.
A refusal to buckle up will cost drivers and their front seat passengers $410 and 3 demerit points.
I probably don't mind that as long as the revenue they raise is used for a good purpose rather than just filling in blanks somewhere.
Independent modelling suggests camera-based enforcement could save up to 26 lives over 5 years, reduce serious life-changing injury by up to 62. The reduction in road trauma easing the strain on our emergency frontline workers.
You're twice as likely to die if you're not wearing your seatbelt and you're in a crash.
Liz Penny, 7 News.
Weekend negotiations have failed to resolve a feud that's threatening to split the state coalition party. The dispute was triggered by a visit by opposition leader Mark Speakman to Wagga Wagga last week. The Minister for Regional New South Wales, Wes Fang, was angry that he wasn't notified of that engagement. He's criticised Mr Speakman on Facebook, calling his behaviour underhanded. Mr Speakman then sacked Mr Fang from his various roles in the Shadow Ministry. Nationals leader Dougal Saunders is refusing to accept that decision.
The leaders have been communicating over the weekend and late last week. They were communicating again this morning, and we're hoping that they'll have some sort of action and communication later today. Liberal MPs are planning a meeting tomorrow to discuss the future.
Kirstie's here now for a look at today's weather conditions. And Kirstie, we've seen some light showers out there today.
Yes, a little bit of rainfall. Nick, hello to you and good evening, everyone. In fact, we did have quite unsettled weather to kickstart July with showers and widespread cloud too. That cloud did keep a lead on temperatures. We had a minimum of 12 degrees in Port Macquarie this morning. Further north, minimums of the mid-teens. Coffs Harbour did first see showers at around 9 o'clock last night with a millimetre falling. Today, scattered rainfall has continued in Lismore. We've seen about 6 millimetres since 9 a.m. There is the chance of thunderstorms tonight. Temperatures barely moving. Grafton 17 degrees, our top following 14 overnight. Just a 1 degree difference for Ballina, Byron Bay and Lismore. We are expecting a wet week on the way. No sign of this rain easing just yet. I'll have that forecast up after sport, Nick.
Okay, Kirstie, we'll get more weather soon. Thank you. Well, still to come in 7 News, a multi-million-dollar upgrade to the Coffs Harbour Car Club is way behind schedule. And the benefits of giving up the grog this month.
And a little later on this news hour, the search for a driver who killed a grandfather who was out on a walk in Sydney's West. The new financial year relief for struggling households. The trivial 000 calls clogging up the hotline. And the US president meets with his family amid calls for him to stand down.
Construction setbacks on a $2.4 million upgrade of the Coffs Harbour Kart Racing Club are now jeopardising major events. The unfinished venue is scheduled to host the national round of the Australian titles in just 3 weeks.
The countdown is on for round 4 of the Australian Karting Championships in Coffs Harbour.
We've got 400 competitors coming in and 11 or 1,200 people, so we're in a mad rush to get some more work done.
But 1 year on from the turning of the sod, and the clubhouse build has fallen well behind schedule after a series of setbacks.
Initially council and then weather and then trades, and it's just an ongoing thing really.
Government sponsors hoping for divine intervention.
Look, there's still a few weeks to go, so I do believe in miracles, and hopefully the building will be nearer to completion before the middle of the month.
The newly refurbished racetrack extended and widened, giving the club international hosting rights.
People are telling us it's one of, if not the best tracks in the country, so we're pretty proud of that.
The Coffs Club more than doubling in size in 18 months with weekly race meetings since April. The starters lineup including Supercar Championship drivers.
We had Nick Percat bring his team here from Victoria who races supercars.
The high adrenaline venue benefiting today from the State Sport Defibrillator grant program.
Even though we're right next to the hospital here, when someone has a cardiac arrest, seconds count, and the earlier you can get that intervention, the more likely they are to have less long-term health outcomes and make a full recovery.
The emergency equipment to be mounted in the clubhouse. Club members trained on how to save a life.
You know, we've got people racing in their 70s, so it's handy to have something like that around. Hopefully we never have to use it, but it's a good thing to have.
Liz Penny, 7 News.
Thousands of Aussies will give up the booze for Dry July. Their sober efforts will help raise money for cancer patients, but it will also give their health and, of course, their liver a bit of a boost.
More than 26,000 Australians will give up the booze this Dry July, raising money to help patients access Cancer Council services, like the Support Line.
And it's for everybody during a cancer diagnosis or anybody with cancer-related questions, whether you're a patient, a carer, a friend, a loved one. It can provide emotional support.
New England MP Barnaby Joyce has quit the drink after an alcohol-related incident in Canberra earlier this year.
It's just my choice, nobody else's. When I went stomach to the stars, I thought, that's a disgrace. Can't do that again. I literally woke up the next morning and they said, that'll do. So I've given up the smokes, given up alcohol.
Mr. Joyce has reaped the rewards of going grog-free, dropping around 15 kilos.
Look, I haven't had a drink and I've just lost weight and yeah, you're sharper. But that's my choice, nobody else's choice. I'm not a wowser. If you want to have a drink, that's absolutely and utterly your choice.
But others say they're not sure they could follow suit.
No, definitely not, that's for sure. How come? Oh, I probably couldn't live without it. It's too good, tastes too nice.
Giving up the drink is something some aren't prepared to do just now.
No, could never do it.
Oh, really? How come?
Oh, probably an alcoholic, I don't know.
What about yourself?
I could probably do it, but I won't, no.
The Cancer Council says people might want to think twice before their next drink, as the latest research shows around 3,500 cancer cases each year are linked to alcohol.
The really sad fact is if you want to reduce your cancer risk, you need to lower your cancer consumption.
Hugh Pearson, 7 News.
Well, still to come in 7 News, why one Foster tennis player is looking forward to the country titles. And some of the best high school league stars take to the field in Port Macquarie.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, breaking through the winter chill, the best affordable heaters to buy right now.
Plus, be watching to win a European getaway. We want to send you and a friend on a holiday to Spain.
See you in the morning.
The Australian Secondary Schools Rugby League titles have now returned to Port Macquarie. Some of the nation's best under 15 and under 16 high school rugby league players hitting the field today.
A defensive line proving near impossible to break. New South Wales Combined Catholic College girls have made an impressive start to their campaign. The team, which features Port Macquarie's Alia Morris, has enjoyed some strong local support.
It's been really good having everyone come to our hometown and good to see.
And they've had plenty to cheer about after back-to-back wins, including a 24-0 triumph over Victoria this morning. But a tougher challenge awaits when they clash with combined high schools tomorrow.
We've really got to band together. The team, especially our forwards, going to work really hard tomorrow. Know a few girls on that team, know that they're pretty quick, pretty skilled, but hopefully we'll get that done too.
Perched high up in the grandstand, some of the code's talent scouts will also keep a close eye on things.
The NRL clubs are out and about having a look at what's going on, and it's great that we have their support.
Over 200 players across 18 teams from around the country will compete this week.
It's a really important pathway in terms of development, moving through to the higher levels, and you know, the better players hopefully will go on to be the shining lights of the NRL in the years to come.
It's the second year in a row the tournament has been played at the regional stadium.
Wonderful to be back in this great part of the world.
The semi-finals will be played on Thursday, with the finals on Friday. Paul Jobber, 7 News.
Well, Foster Tennis Club will host this year's Country Championships. Some of the very best in the state will compete, with one local contender looking to better her previous performances.
Stepping courtside, these players are ready for the biggest event of the year in regional tennis. The country champs are back in Foster for the second year in a row, expected to bring over 500 competitors to the region over the next 2 weeks.
Friday through to Monday we have the Opens and 18s. Then the juniors start the Monday through to the Friday the 12th.
Layla Pacini has recently returned home after 4 years playing at college in the United States. She's been runner-up at the tournament for 2 years and won the junior title. Now ready for an exciting week on the courts.
So it'll be a 32 draw, so we'll have a few rounds to get to the finals, and I'm also competing in doubles and mixed as well as singles, so there'll be lots of tennis heaps and matches each day.
The tournament has been running since the 1920s, with sporting legends like Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley and Mark Edmondson taking out previous titles. Local players are hoping to put their name alongside glory, putting in the final hours of preparation ahead of the big games.
Hoping to at least make it through a couple rounds and then hopefully win the doubles or something like that, just go deep.
The club is eager to welcome the athletes later this week, knowing the boost it will bring to local business.
It's 500 competitors plus family and siblings, and they stay for the week, they eat out.
Hannah Hartup, 7 News.
Well, there's more showers on the way. Up next in 7 News, Kirstie has your local weather forecast.
Welcome back, everyone. Moist winds and a cold front are generating showers through northeastern New South Wales, with moderate to heavy falls possible along the coast this week. Meanwhile, a high-pressure system will be the main feature through the interior. We're expecting mostly clear and sunny skies for the first week of July. That's ahead of showers building through central parts of the country, bringing wet weather to the west as we head into the weekend. And we can see that on our rainfall map. Our state bookended by rainfall through the west and through the east. Along our coastline, we could see between 70 and 100 140 millimetres of rain this week. Persistent showers right along the coast. And we will wake to showers tomorrow morning too, with wet weather falling overnight. We could see some heavy falls heading into mid to late tomorrow afternoon, picking up again overnight with totals of around 20 to 25 millimetres tomorrow. A light breeze for most, becoming stronger during the second half of the day, and skies remaining grey once again. We're not seeing a huge jump from our minimums to our maximums. Offshore tomorrow, seas around 1.5 to 2 metres, with a southerly swell increasing to around 6 to 7 feet. Winds tending southeasterly at around 15 to 20 knots. Wet weather will continue to fall overnight into Wednesday, with thunderstorms likely too for parts of the mid-north coast. Some of that wet weather easing into the evening, but in total we could see about 20 to 30 millimetres of rain. That rainfall also accompanied by chilly southerly winds, which could become strong by the evening. Maximum temperatures reaching the high teens, and showers again into Thursday, 5 to 6 millimetres through Foster, increasing to about 15 millimetres for Port Macquarie, up to 20 millimetres in Coffs Harbour, again accompanied by chilly southwesterly winds with temperatures in the high teens. There is certainly plenty of wet weather on the forecast for the coast this week, Nick.
Yeah, it looks like a Kirstie, plenty of rain about.
That's right, yes.
Thank you. And that is your local news for tonight. You can always catch up on our website or at 7+. Right now, Dan's got your latest national news. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. And Kirstie and I are back tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.